So hey everyone, welcome to today's class. So today we are going to study about Kinesis data streams, and we are going to see how powerful this streaming service is and how the underlying infrastructure is being taken care of by AWS. So this is a managed service. This is a service that could be used for any kind of data that you would like to send and process within seconds, right? So it allows us to process data within 70 milliseconds, and that's pretty amazing. So let's get started and let's understand as to how Kinesis data stream works. So Kinesis data streams, or KDS, it's a massively scalable, durable, real-time data streaming service. So you can continuously capture gigabytes of data per second from hundreds and thousands of sources, such as website click streams. It can be your IT logs, can be database event streams. It can be any kind of social media feeds or any financial transactions, and even location tracking events. So let's just consider this for a second, this particular scenario, wherein if suppose you are uh, going ahead and traveling in a Uber car, right? And each and every second your location data is being emitted. So let's say, for example, you have written a small process that is going to store all of this emitted data into a Kinesis stream, and based on which you're going ahead and doing some kind of processing and analysis, and you're creating real-time dashboards or probably even plotting your uh, steps on the map, right? So literally anything is possible when you're thinking about Kinesis data streams in terms of creating visualizations or dashboards and processing clickstream data within a matter of seconds. And even if you have an IoT device that is using a sensor and it's emitting data literally every second, you can go ahead and store all of the data with Kinesis data streams. So we will look at all of these complex concepts in the subsequent slides as to how you would use Kinesis data streams to go ahead and store all of this data, as well as process all of this data in real time. So the data collected is available within milliseconds, and to be exact, it's around 70 milliseconds to enable real-time analytics such as real-time dashboards, any kind of anomaly detection, or any dynamic pricing, and so on for financial transactions. So it's pretty amazing. So some of the benefits that it brings us is, like I mentioned, that it allows us to make our streaming data available within 70 milliseconds for any kind of real-time analytics. And you can go ahead and process this data and store it within S3 bucket, or you can go ahead and trigger Lambda functions in order to process this data and remove any kind of erroneous data, or cleanse any kind of data that you send through your stream. And then through Lambda, you can have multitude of other possibilities to store your data or process your data, or probably send it to a database like NoSQL, like DynamoDB. And then from DynamoDB, you can go ahead and again enable DynamoDB streams and also trigger another Lambda function from there. So there are so many different combinations that you can go with once you put your data into S3 or with Lambda. Right? It also reduces the probability of data loss, because since it's a managed service, there is synchronous replication of all of your streaming data across 3 availability zones within an AWS region. And you are not given the choice of choosing choosing the availability zones, because this is a managed service. So therefore you have to choose the region that you want to work with, and all of your data is going to be stored within 3 availability zones minimum, right? And the storage of data goes up to 7 days, and it can start from 24 hours all the way up to 7 days, and it can provide multiple layers of protection for data loss, right? And you can also meet your regulatory and compliance requirements by encrypting sensitive data within Kinesis data streams. And you can also privately access your data using the VPC endpoint that we studied when we spoke about the VPC section. It can also right now integrate with AWS Private Link, where you need to create an endpoint of interface type, where you need to have an ENI endpoint and a network load balancer, and you will be able to access Kinesis data streams through that ENI, right? And that too privately, wherein you don't have your traffic going through the internet or through the NAT gateway, or even you don't even need to establish any kind of VPN connection. So this is an internet based service, and that's the reason why this service also has a VPC endpoint. And this VPC endpoint is of type interface and not gateway, right? And when we talk about encryption, you can go ahead and encrypt all of your data at rest using KMS, right? And you can also use those server-side encryption keys. The AWS themselves give you a KMS key for Kinesis, but then you can go ahead and create your own KMS key, where you have chosen your own algorithm, and you can go ahead and specify as to this person can encrypt all of the data, and this person can be the administrator of that key, and so on. So some other benefits are that you can build your streaming applications, in the sense that you can go ahead and start consuming the data that you stream to Kinesis data streams using AWS SDK. or even the Kinesis client library, or even the Kinesis client library connectors for other AWS services. And it has easy integrations with AWS Lambda, with Kinesis Data Analytics, which we will talk about in the next section. And also it has easy integration with Kinesis Data Firehose, where Firehose is a service wherein you can go ahead and send your data from Kinesis data stream onto Firehose, and then Firehose will send it across 4 different outputs. So Firehose can send it to Redshift, Firehose can send it to Splunk, Firehose can send it to Elasticsearch, and Firehose can also send all of your data to S3, right? So these are the 4 services that Kinesis Data Firehose supports: S3, Redshift, Elasticsearch, as well as Splunk, right? So, and then Kinesis data stream, it scales from megabytes to terabytes within the hour, right? And it can scale from at least thousands to millions of put records per second, depending on how much shards that you allocate, right? And the cost effectiveness of Kinesis data stream is that for as little as $0.015 per hour, you can get the capacity of 1 megabits per second ingest capacity and 2 megabits per second egress capacity. And just by allocating one shard, right? So think about how powerful Kinesis data streams is. So this is an architecture diagram taken from the AWS docs. So you can see that we have the producers on the left side, and then we have the Kinesis data stream in the center, and then we have the consumers on the right side, wherein these consumers are outputting data to probably S3 for storage, and for DynamoDB for any kind of analytics and processing, Amazon Redshift for any kind of analytics, wherein in the front you may have Amazon QuickSight for any kind of dashboarding. You can also use your own EMR clusters for any kind of processing using Hadoop and those frameworks. And you can also go ahead and send it to Kinesis Firehose. And then probably you can transform all of your data that is sent to Kinesis Firehose using a Lambda function. And then from Kinesis Firehose, you can send it out to S3, Redshift, Elasticsearch, and Splunk. So there are so many different possibilities when you're working with Kinesis data streams, as well as its suite of tools. Right? So some of the key concepts that you have to understand going into Kinesis data streams is that there are something called as data producers and consumers. So data producer, it's an application that typically emits all of your data records into the Kinesis data stream. So your data producers also assign partition keys, and these partition keys determine which shard within Kinesis data stream ingests that data record, and it's unique, right? And your data consumer is a distributor. It's a distributed Kinesis application that you write, or it can be any other AWS service that is retrieving the data from the data stream, right? And the most data consumers are retrieving the most recent data in a shard, therefore enabling that real-time analytics and handling of data, right? So your data stream is nothing but a logical grouping of shards. So there is no bound on how many numbers of shards that you have to have within a data stream. You can also ask for a service limit increase if you need more. And a data stream will generally retain data from 24 hours up to 7 days when any kind of extended retention is enabled, right? So the maximum duration that your data can be stored within the Kinesis data stream is from 24 hours to 7 days. So you can edit the retention, and I'll show you how to do that on the console, right? A shard is the base throughput unit for Kinesis data stream. So therefore, with one shard, you can go ahead and ingest 1,000 data records per second or 1 MB per second, right? And you can monitor all of your shard level metrics in Kinesis data streams through CloudWatch, right? And you can also go ahead and enable enhanced monitoring for your Kinesis data stream, wherein you will pay a little bit extra amount in order to get more visibility into the shard level metrics for your data stream, right? So partition key is typically a meaningful identifier, like a user ID or a timestamp. So generally it will be the timestamp, but it's specified by the data producer while putting the data into the data stream. And it's very useful for the consumers so that they can use the partition key to replay or build any history of any data that is associated with the partition key. And it's also used to segregate and route the data to different shards of a stream. So for example, if you have two shards, shard 1 and 2, and you have two primary partition keys that you're using, which is key A and key B. So you can specify that all of key A's data can go to shard 1 and all of key B's data can go to shard 2 and so on. So that's the use of a partition key. So you don't need to remember all of this going into the exam, but then I'm just giving you a detailed overview into how Kinesis data stream works. And I'll have a very small demo at the end wherein I'll just show you some bash commands to go ahead and put data into a Kinesis data stream. and also consume data from a Kinesis data stream. And by default, it's base 64 encoded, all of the data that you send, if you're not using any KMS key. Right? So there's also something called as a sequence number, and the sequence number is a unique identifier for each data record, and it's generally assigned by the Kinesis data stream itself when a data producer puts a record or uses the put record or the put records API to add data to the stream, right? So now what are the different ways or the different libraries that you can use to write data to a Kinesis data stream? So this is important to remember when you're working. So you can use the Kinesis data generator. So this is an AWS service itself that you can use in order to go ahead and write data to a stream. It's pretty easy to work with. And then you have the streams API. So you can use those two APIs called as the put record API as well as the put records API. So put record API without the S, it allows you to send only one record to the Kinesis data stream, but using the put records, it allows you to add multiple records into the data stream, right? And then you have something called as the producer library. So it's written in Java programming language the last time I checked. So it's a very easy library, and there is detailed documentation regarding this. So you have to write your own Java code in order to go ahead and put data into a Kinesis data stream. And then finally, you have the Kinesis agent. So this is something that you install onto your Linux operating system or any kind of server that you have, any kind of operating system that you have. And you have to specify your stream as well as the log file or any kind of file that you need to watch for any changes. And if suppose there is any change on that particular file, automatically that change is going to be taken and emitted onto the Kinesis data stream, right? So the agent monitors certain files and continuously sends that data to your stream. And you have to provide enough credentials in terms of access key ID and secret access key for this to work, or probably attach an IAM role with that EC2 instance wherein you're doing this processing. And using that IAM role, you can provide permissions for Kinesis in order for that EC2 instance to go ahead and write to the Kinesis data stream, right? So now we will also understand all of the different ways that we can go ahead and read data from a Kinesis data stream. So the first way is to use data firehose. So like I mentioned about data firehose before, it is the easiest way and the reliable way to transform using Lambda functions and also load your streaming data into data stores and analytics tools. So you can use the Kinesis data stream as a source for Kinesis data firehose. So that means when you think about your stream, you can think about it as a pipe. So you emit data on one, you insert data on one side and it emits data on the other side. And when it emits data on the other side to the consumer, you can choose to have a Kinesis data firehose over there. And this Kinesis data firehose is going to be consuming all of your data. And then you can possibly do any kind of transformation using a Lambda function, and then probably send all of the data into either one of these four stores. So you can send it to S3 for storage. You can send it to Redshift for any kind of analysis. You can go ahead and send it to Splunk as well as Elasticsearch. And then you have Kinesis Data Analytics. So this is an application that you create, which allows you to query the streaming data using native SQL, wherein you can get some actionable insights within seconds that your data is emitted. And you can go ahead and run these SQL queries on the fly. So let's say, for example, that you're creating an application using Kinesis Data Analytics. You're streaming all of your data using Kinesis Data Stream, and the streamed data is going to Kinesis Data Analytics, and you have created a schema for yourself. And once you have created the schema, you can start writing your own SQL queries in order to even find out the probably something along the lines of, let's say that you are running a marathon, right? And when you're running a marathon, each and every second, your geographical data or even your speed data or your distance data is being generated and it's being sent to the Kinesis data stream. And then you have a Kinesis data analytics application that is possibly querying the data that is coming in through the stream using SQL queries, where you're finding out certain aggregations, like probably you're finding out the total distance that you have covered, probably the speed that you have covered over a particular distance. So any kind of analytics can be done on the data that you send through the stream to Kinesis data analytics, right? So we will talk more about Firehose and analytics in the next section. So you can also use your Lambda to consume all of the data. So it's event driven. It's record by record that you are processing all of this data. So you can go ahead and do a polling wherein you can go ahead and get all of the data from the Kinesis data stream and do any kind of processing in your Lambda function based on what kind of data you are getting. It can be any log data. So one classic example would be, so you're storing all of your logs in an S3 bucket, or probably let's say, for example, that you are so I'm just thinking, so just give me a second. So probably, yeah. So you are installing the Kinesis agent, which we studied regarding the writing data to a stream. So probably you're installing the Kinesis agent onto an EC2 instance, and you're attaching an IAM role to that, so that this EC2 instance will be able to send all of the log files to Kinesis data streams. So then once you send all of your log files to Kinesis data streams, you can go ahead and have a Lambda function that polls your stream and then goes ahead and does any kind of transformation on this data and some kind of filtering and cleansing on this data, on this log data, and takes in the necessary fields, does your filtering, and then sends all of this data to an Elasticsearch cluster in real time. So probably in near real time rather than real time. So that's one good use case where you would use AWS Lambda in order to process, wherein you need some kind of transformation as well as filtering and any kind of data cleansing. You can use Lambda over there. So again, if suppose you had all of your data in an S3 bucket, and then you would like to go ahead and send all of your data using a Lambda function, as and when data is inputted to your S3 bucket, you are using a Lambda function to go ahead and send all of this data to Kinesis data stream. And then from Kinesis data stream, you're having a data analytics application or even Firehose that is sending all of your data to Elasticsearch or to any other destination, right? So any kind of possibility you can just think of, and just go ahead and probably plot an architecture diagram and so on. And then you have Kinesis client library. So Kinesis client library is also, it's a built-in library that you use to, easily build applications for reading and processing data from the Kinesis data stream. So it handles some complex issues such as adapting to changes in the stream volume, and load balancing with streaming data, as well as fault tolerance and coordinating distributed services. So it has more features. And KCL version 2, it works with Java and Python programming language, whereas KCL version 1 works with Java, Python, and Node.js. But then there is one more consumer called as a connector, which is based on Kinesis client library. And this connector helps you to integrate with AWS native services such as DynamoDB or Redshift or S3 or Elasticsearch. So that's the difference between the connector library and the client library. And client library is something that you use by yourself in order to build your solutions, in order to read the data from a Kinesis data stream. But the connector is based on the client library, and it allows you to go ahead and input data and probably, export all of the data that you consume into DynamoDB, Redshift, and so on. Right? So some of the management features when it comes to Kinesis data streams is that you can privately access Kinesis data streams, which we saw before when you're working with VPC using VPC endpoints, and that too specifically the interface endpoint. And recently with the native support of AWS Private Link, it works more seamlessly with network interface, right? So with VPC endpoints, the routing between the VPC and the Kinesis data stream is handled in such a way that there is no need for internet gateway, NAT gateway, or any kind of VPN connection, right? The other management feature that Kinesis data stream provides is you can encrypt your data using server-side encryption or client-side encryption. So before your data is being written to the Kinesis data stream, it's being encrypted. And once your data is being retrieved from the Kinesis data stream, it's being decrypted, right? And Kinesis data stream integrates with CloudWatch for any kind of metrics, shard level metrics. And you can also enable enhanced monitoring with CloudWatch, which gives you more granularity and more metrics for your shards and for the performance of your Kinesis data stream. Right? So considering all of these features, now let's go ahead and just look at one small architecture diagram before we do the lab. So let me open up that architecture diagram. So in this architecture diagram, you can see right now that it's pretty simple in nature. So you can have a Kinesis data stream wherein you input all of your data into the data stream. And then you can possibly have Lambda functions that are doing the get records API on a poll, and they are reading all of your data that is there within the stream, and then emitting all of that data probably to an S3 bucket or to a DynamoDB table or to probably another Kinesis data stream after doing certain filtering, right? It's possible. So your data that is coming here is probably unfiltered in nature, and you are doing some kind of filtering over here with your Lambda function or using any programming language that you would love to use. And then you can go ahead and just filter all of the data and cleanse all of the data and send it possibly to another Kinesis data stream. And then from here, you can use Kinesis data Firehose, and using Kinesis data Firehose, you can directly send all of that filtered data to Redshift, to S3, to Elasticsearch, as well as to Splunk. So any kind of possibility you can just think of. Probably I have more diagrams regarding this when we speak about Kinesis data Firehose, as well as Kinesis data applications, data analytics applications, and so on. Right. So just for simplicity, I just wanted you to get an idea regarding this. So now let's go ahead and look at as to how do we go ahead and create a Kinesis data stream. So I have already created a stream. It's not too complex. It's pretty easy to create a stream. So you can go ahead and click on create data stream. And all you have to do is just go ahead and give your stream a name. So I'm just going to call this as sample stream 2. So don't leave these streams lying around, because even if they are idle, you're still going to be paying for the shard. And you can see right now that my maximum shard limit for my account is 500. And this is a soft limit. You can always ask AWS support in order to increase this limit for you. So you can also ask for request limit increase from here. And you have something called as the shard estimator. And the shard estimator you can see over here. So it's telling you that if you're going to write 1 MB of data per second, right? And you're going to write only 1 record per second, that means you will need 1 shard. But then if suppose you are sending 1 MB of data, but then you're writing at least 10, right? When you're writing 10 records which are of size 1 MB, then you will need 10 shards, right? And for reading, you'll need, so let's say, for example, let's say for reading that data, we will probably need total number of consumers. If I say is 2 consumers, then based on which you can see that even the number of shards it's giving is only 10. But if we go for 4 consumers, you can see over here the estimated number of open shards is 20, because you can see over here for two consumers, you're going to have that support of 2 MB per second, right? So therefore you can see over here, this is 10 MB, right? And with 10 MB that you're writing, you will need 10 shards, and you can read 20 MB, right? So that's the reason why you will still require only 10 shards when you are with 2 consumers. But then when you're going with 6 consumers, it's going to triple the number of shards that you will require, right? So this is a shard estimator that's giving you that idea. But right now I'm not going to use the shard estimator. I'm just going to go with 1 shard, and you can go ahead and click on create data stream. But before that, you can see the summarization over here. It's only 1000 data records per second, or 1 MB per second. And the read is 2 MB per second that you can do, which is twice of what you can write, right? So you can go ahead and click on create data stream. It's going to take at least 5 to 6 seconds for your data stream to be available. And I have already created a data stream, so it's available right now. So the next step that we are going to do is I'm just going to show you the basic code for the producer and the consumer. So for the producer, what we are going to do is we are going to set a simple for loop in bash, and we are going to go ahead and do this particular command from our CLI. So therefore, before doing this particular command, you have to go ahead and configure your AWS access key ID and secret access key to your terminal window for that respective AWS account, with enough permissions to write data to a Kinesis data stream and to read data from a Kinesis data stream. Okay, so my stream is called a sample stream, and we are using the put record API, and it's going to write one record each, right? And that's the reason why we have put it in a for loop. And all I have done is just mentioned hello, how are you doing, with the iterator, which is I, right? And on our consumer, what we are doing is we are using something called as a shard iterator, and the shard iterator gives us the starting point for where we have to start. And this is the shard ID. We are providing the shard ID, which is the starting point, and based on which the shard iterator value is going to be returned back to us. And based on the shard iterator value, we are going to use the shard iterator value in order to get all of the records, right? So let's go ahead and run this producer and the consumer, and let me change this for loop to 10, 1 to 10. So it's going to read only the last 10 records. So let me first go ahead and go to the terminal, and let me run the producer.sh. So you can see over here, it's writing all of the data, right? So I will just wait for a second until 10 iterations are complete. So it's writing, hi, hello, how are you doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So it has finished writing 10. So therefore, we'll also run the consumer right now. And once we run the consumer, you can see that we are going to be reading all of the 10 data, right? So you can see that we are reading all of the 10 data from the Kinesis data stream, right? Let's wait. Let's just wait for a little bit until the entire consumer is completed, right? So you can see over here, the next shard iterator is automatically calculated based on the command that we have specified from the first iterator. And when you go ahead and take this value, right, this is base 64 encoded. So let's just go to the browser, and let's open up base 64 encode.org. Let's go to decode, and let's type the value over here, and you can see it should be 10. Yep. So hello, how are you doing, 10? And if we take the previous data value, so you can paste it over here and see. So this is going to be hello, how are you doing, 9, right? And so on. So you can see all of the values have been emitted over here, right? Cool. Okay, so these are all the things that I wanted to mention regarding Kinesis data streams. So when it comes to your exam perspective, you have to remember in which particular scenario would you possibly use Kinesis data stream, and in which scenario would you use Kinesis data analytics, and in which scenario would you use Kinesis data firehose. And there is something called as Kinesis video streams, which we will also be seeing later uh, in accordance with recognition, which is AWS's ML service for image recognition. So thank you for attending this session and have a great day, guys. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.